Ashling here from the Institute of Empowered Psychology and the NLP Global Summit. I am so excited to be in the company of one of our amazing speakers at the summit, Valerie Fisher. And Valerie is coming to us all the way from the Philippines. You are so welcome, Valerie.
Yay. Hello, everybody. You might be listening to this or watching this from anywhere in the world. So I'm going to greet you. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world.
So Valerie, thank you for joining us. And we're so excited to have you on the speaker panel here at the NLP Global Summit. So we'd like to get to know you a little bit more. So can you tell our members who you are and how you got your start with NLP?
Yeah, so my name is Valerie Fisher. I'm based here in the Philippines. I actually got my start. So my first exposure to NLP was back in 2009. And at that time, there was only one, we're so behind. There was only one certified NLP practitioner / trainer here in the Philippines. And she was part of our company. I used to work for an events company, and then they had a training one. And I would get their help to train my clients. So my clients would have, brand ambassadors, salespeople, and I would accompany them. Like I would be with my client and telling them about the training. And I would always be fascinated with how they did things. It just seemed like, you can see, eventually I learned about it, like it's physiology and it's all of these, techniques that they used, but you will really see the sparkle in in the participants' eyes, and then the behavior that's changed. Eventually, I will also ask my client, like, what happened to the training participants after? And they would report like a longer change in behavior. And my trainer, who eventually became my mentor and who's also one of our speakers, she said, you know why there's that change? Because it wasn't a change in behavior. It was a change in their belief system. And that's what makes it long-term. It's not, just because you did a training and you're so happy and you're so high and it lasts for like 24 hours and then gone. So I've always been fascinated with that. But since I worked in the corporate world, I didn't have the time to do it myself, to get my certification and to find out more about it. But I think that I've always been led to this because in 2018, I decided, I was thinking, you know what? I've been working since, for 18 years, like consecutive years. I didn't have a break. My only break is like a weekend or something like that. And I said to myself, I think it's time for me to have a gap year. And with that gap year, I finally found the time. I finally found the time to get into NLP. And it was perfect because that was also the time when I was asking myself questions like, where do you want to go? Is this really, I was one of the youngest assistant vice presidents in one of the biggest companies here in the Philippines. And I asked myself, okay, what's next after an AVP position as AVP? Do you really want to be president of this company? Where do you want to go? And when I attended the certification program, that all, became clear. Clarity was one of the biggest gifts of NLP to me and for me. It was like, here you go. You're asking all of these questions, and here are the answers. I didn't really, see, knew about it like immediately, but it was throughout the course, the 10-day course, and even after, like so many realizations, so many breakthroughs, and that started NLP for me. And also, one of the things that I wanted to learn about it is, I wasn't really planning to be a coach, at least at that time. I wanted to have the tools and to be empowered and to know how it is to talk to friends who need help. Because, mental health is not a fad, it's not a trend. It has always been there. We just don't talk about it. And I want to be that person who is more, how do I say, like they can come to me and they can ask for my help. And I know that whatever I'm going to share with them is not just advice. It's based on something, and it's something that it can empower them. You know, it's not like shallow or skin deep. It's not like that. I wanted to be that person for them. I wanted to be that person for my then boyfriend, now my husband. I wanted to be that kind of person. And so that's why, you know, I got certified. I really did the whole certification course with, you know, the number of hours that you have to practice before you get your certification and all of that. So that's got me, that's actually my start in NLP.
Wow, Valerie, that's an amazing story. I love so much how all of our speakers have such diverse backgrounds, and how NLP, once they got into it, it was like, this is the game changer, and I'm following this path and I'm going to grow through. So you have a wide variety of, you know, skills that you brought to the table with NLP, and I'm interested to know, how are you going to share the story with our members? What are they going to learn from your presentation at the NLP Global Summit?
Yeah, I'm so excited because, all right, so I'm also going to be a little bit vulnerable about this. In 2020, so I quit my job at that time in 2018, started my own digital, you know, e-commerce company. I went back to corporate, but then like 5 million Filipinos, other Filipinos here, I lost my job in 2020. But then because I'm a practitioner, you know, we can reframe. We can reframe our own thinking. We can identify the feelings and address them. So that's what I did. Like personally, that's what I did. And then I realized I have a unique offer to the world, because yes, I'm an NLP practitioner, but I also have a long background in advertising and marketing. And I also have my e-commerce site that I started in 2018, around the time that I did the certification course. And also at that time, you know, my former colleagues were asking me, I know that you have an e-commerce site. I know that you're selling online. How can you help us? How can we get your services to teach us digital marketing? And I'm like, okay, these are clients coming to me. And so I reframed the loss of, that was actually, you know, a dream job, because I was already chief marketing officer at that time. And I was like, I can help you. I know all of these things about digital marketing. But then I realized, but wait, I'm also an NLP practitioner. Let us put that, let us put that into the, you know, into the ingredient. It's not just digital marketing. It's not just advertising. It will be NLP based. And also at that time, when I was asking people, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about NLP plus marketing? I joined Facebook groups, and one of them actually said, you know, it's BS. And that really kind of put me down, because I'm like, wait, you think this is not gonna go anywhere? He was like, it's BS. Like, how do you, you know, it's not a good match. But then I persevered, and I came up with my own framework, which is what I'm going to share with everybody, which I call a PRIME framework. So this is NLP, so Neuro Linguistic Programming techniques that can be applied. I myself apply, and even without knowing it, I unconsciously applied in my e-commerce, in the e-commerce business that I have, like store those. So I wrote them all down. I'm like, this is something. And I called it, I actually trademarked brain science selling. So that guy who said, this is all BS, you know, I reframed it, and I'm like, I'm going to show you, you know what, I'm going to show you that I can do this, that this is something unique that I can offer the world. And that is what I'm going to share. So what you're going to learn, P is for priming. There are many techniques on how you can use priming for selling. For example, you know, when you're selling online, sometimes we don't think about it and just come up with, hey, I have a product, hey, I have a service, without priming your customers' brains. It's like you're assuming that they already know about you, that they trust you, that they like you. You're assuming that. but you can't do that. So you have to prime them. Many different ways, and I will show you in my presentation. Rapport. How do you build rapport with your clients? There are many ways. Identifying first visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, gustatory. What is their modality preference? How do you use that to build rapport? And even in webinars, like we are limited to the 4 squares of the Zoom room. And we would think like it's so hard to build rapport, but you can actually build rapport in many ways. I'll give you just an example. You do your research. So when you are presenting to somebody or when you are presenting to a group, do your research, identify what is the age group of these people. Maybe, example, Gen Xers, like me. I'm a Gen Xer. And then try to understand what kind of music. Music is for auditory, okay? So what kind of music do you think these people like? And then maybe like 70s or 80s music. So even before you open your Zoom room, or even before you start your presentation, you play 70s and 80s music. And that will bring them back to their childhood. That will bring them back to, that will give them some sort of nostalgia. And it will bring them back to good memories, hopefully good memories. And then even before you open your mouth, you're already starting to create rapport because you did your research and you are really, wanting to serve them in the way that that they will receive them better because they feel like you care for them by playing music that they like. It's very simple. And then intent, NLP practitioners are heavy on intent, and it's important because we have such powerful tools. We have such powerful tools. And what you give to the universe gives back to you, and you have to be intentional with whatever it is that you want to share. I call my content, so we call it content marketing or content planning. I actually call mine intent planning. What is your intent for the week? Do you intend to sell? Do you intend to build your brand? Do you intend to, push this product some more? Engage? What do you intend to do for the week? Set your intention. So that's the I part, PRI. M stands for Meta and Milton. I use Meta for personal brand. We were talking about, so offline, we were talking about values and how shared values is important for relationships. The same way with building your brand. So meta, we ask ourselves, NLP practitioners, meta questions. And the meta questions are really designed to identify what it really is that you want, or what it really is that you value. And what it is that you value is actually the building block of your personal brand or your brand. So there's that. And then the Milton, you can use the Milton for activities like this, like presentations or conferences or face-to-face interactions, using words that will help you sell, or even in copywriting, the words imagine, words realize, see, notice. So all of those are part of the Milton language, hypnotic language. So that's M. And then finally, E is for emotion. How do you sell using emotion? Many ways, and one of my favorites is storytelling. Storytelling that I have been using ever since, even before I became an NLP practitioner, and even before I became who I am now, like a trainer and coach consultant. I would call myself storyteller. And stories really, because there's no way but to kind of show emotions in your stories, whether you're mad, you're angry, you're frustrated, you're happy, you're joyful, your products and services. And again, there are many ways on how we can do that. And I will share all of those with you during the NLP Global Summit. I'm very excited.
Oh my God, I'm very excited. I can't wait to take notes. This is going to be amazing. Your enthusiasm is so infectious, Valerie. Talk about building reports. Amazing. I can't wait to hear your presentation. It's going to be phenomenal. So anybody that's watching this, make sure that you take note of when Valerie is presenting, and it sounds like one that one would need to watch back as well. So for anybody who wants to get the VIP ticket, they'll be able to rewatch and rewatch again this amazing presentation so they can apply it to their businesses, because that's what all of us NLP practitioners, NLP coaches, NLP trainers, that's how we need to market our businesses, is utilizing the tools of NLP, because that's the essence of what your business is. That's so exciting. Oh my goodness, I love the framework. So what would you say to anybody who was thinking about joining the summit, Valerie?
First of all, get the tickets so you can, so for anybody who's watching this or listening to this and also watching the live, please get the premium tickets, because that is when we don't really get the whole of it. When we have trainings, I read somewhere that sales trainings, only 10% of the people actually get the get the essence of the training, and only 3% of them actually implement. That's because they can't really go back to the training. So if you really want to make this life-changing for you, if you're serious and committed about helping yourself, helping your business, helping your loved ones, get the ticket. It is going to be life-changing. Can you imagine? Me, I'm so excited because I'm going to see all of my, I'm a fan. I told my network, I'm like, I cannot believe that the people I watch, I binge watch the YouTube videos of these people. Me, I binge watch them, and I will be seeing all of them, all of these trainings. So this is really going to be super worth your money, super worth your while.
That leads me to the question, why was it important for you to be a part of the NLP Global Summit?
Yeah, it is, I really feel good because they're my idols. They're my mentor. One of my mentors is going to be, my mentor, the one who really taught me NLP, is going to be here, and also from other parts of the world. And personally, offline, we were talking about gratitude because Filipinos are given jobs because of this summit, and I really want representation. I know we are behind in terms of NLP and how many people in this country know about it, practice it, and even are trained to do it. So I want representation. I want people to know outside of the Philippines that yes, we can also do it, and that yes, we have talent here that can also be side by side with the best in the world. It's just that we're late, but we're fast catching up. So that's why it's important to me to be here.
It's well, this is the thing, it's catching all over the world. We've got representation from Ireland to Australia, from the Philippines to the United States, and everywhere in between. It truly is a global summit. And I think what's important for me anyway, and Fran, my business partner, in putting this summit together, was to show our students, to show the people who come and attend, all of the members, that they'll find somebody, one of the speakers, that will resonate with them, and they'll connect with that speaker, and they'll think, she's just like me, or he's just like me. I could do that. Mm-hmm. That could be me. And I want for people to feel that way and to get that inspiration and to come out the other side of it fired up and ready to go, whether they've studied NLP, that they'll take a course if they haven't yet studied NLP, or if they have studied it and they haven't been doing anything with their studies, that they'll just take action and just make it work, because this is an amazing tool that can be shared with people all over the world. And just on that point, speaking about tools, this is like my bonus question. What is your favorite NLP tool, Valerie?
My favorite NLP tool, because it's close to my heart, because this is when I had my breakthrough, when we were studying it, when we were doing all the exercises. Is the timeline and the timeline and the future pace. See, I get my, we have this you ask your subconscious about a yes and no answer, and I just got my yes answer again. So this feels like, yes, I'm sharing it with you, and yes, it's right to share it with you. That's what my unconscious is telling me. Timeline. I wanted to give that child, all the resources that I now have. I wanted to give that child a hug and to tell her that it's okay, whatever you're going to go through in life, it is there because of a reason. It is there to make you stronger. It is there to give you all the people around you, to give you the support and, the empowerment. So just hold on. And in the future, this is where you're going to be. This is who you will be. And that's why it's my, it's my personal favorite. But the one that I use the most for me right now is Circle of Excellence. Because in truth, again, that child in the past, I was a very shy child. I don't speak out. I'm not opinionated. I'm not like this. This is me with my Circle of Excellence. So before I turn my video on, before I open my Zoom, before I go on stage, I do my Circle of Excellence, because this is a role that I also play. It's not innate in me to be like this. But what I want to tell everybody is, because I have that Circle of Excellence, because I know that I have that support, that I know that I can be that person that I want to be, the ideal self that I want to be. I can be that, even if I'm not really, I don't really have that. Had that in me. But so those two timelines close to me. Circle of Excellence, because I use it in almost my everyday life.
I love that so much. Yes, I sometimes forget about the Circle of Excellence when it comes to anchoring, but because I use other tools, but gosh, that is such a powerful tool. You've just reminded me maybe to go back. And if you are a practitioner and you're not using it, maybe it might inspire you to go back and revisit the Circle of Excellence, because yes, it is something that can really drive you and get you forward. And of course, the timeline therapy, while it's not a traditional NLP tool, it is a complementary NLP tool that a lot of trainers have in their toolboxes, and is a phenomenal life-changing tool for practitioners and for our clients to really help and create that change within them that they're striving for when they come to us as coaches. Valerie, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. I am so excited to see your presentation. I cannot wait to learn all about Prime and how I can apply it at the Institute of Empowered Psychology in my marketing. We'll have to have a chat about that down the road. So any of you guys who are tuning in, don't forget to check out Valerie's presentation at the NLP Global Summit, and we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for joining us, Valerie.
Thank you so much. See you there.